So today I'm going to tell you about my city, Melbourne, in Australia. So basically, just like how David Icke exposed the city of London and all the corruption and the reptilian bloodlines, I'm going to be telling you about my city and all the crazy things that I've psychically seen in this city. So basically, Melbourne was founded by the early settlers in 1835, and Melbourne is named after a British Prime Minister, William Lamb, 2nd Viscount of Melbourne. So Australia is a constitutional monarchy, aka we're ruled by the Queen. Australia should be a republic, but we're not. And Aboriginals were here first, and they were here before the Europeans and everyone else colonized this land. As well as the early settlers, a lot of them were people from the ancestral reptilian bloodlines who came here. So a lot of these people doing rituals here in Melbourne are from the reptilian bloodline. Some of them aren't, some of them are just the witches' bloodlines as well. So anyway, let's basically, whatever London, the epicenter of control, says, Melbourne will kiss the ass of the UK and follow. Okay, so if you think their rituals are only happening in London and LA and other parts of the world, oh no, the rituals are happening here too in Melbourne. They happen in every city all over this planet. These satanic rituals happen in Melbourne, they happen in London, they happen in LA, these satanic sort of magic rituals are happening all over the globe. So Melbourne is the same. So Melbourne is a follower city, and we're given orders from Illuminati, from the very top, from the global elite, to pass the agenda to this city and procure fear into the population, you know, basically put up those blocks, you know, and get the terrorist attacks and all of this fear. And it absolutely is happening, no question, but why are they staging these events? And why are they doing it? There's always a reason why. And I can explain to you something really interesting that I found out. And I've been watching these. If you notice, there were 2 attacks in Melbourne. One was, and they're both on Bourke Street. And I'll explain something to you that's really, really interesting that I've realized when I've looked at an aerial view of the map. And I can explain everything. So if you think that the global elite care about the rest of us, they don't. They care about their money and where it's stashed, and when the shit hits the fan, they're gonna leave the city, they're gonna leave the planet, and the rest of us will have to fend for ourselves. So that's what I see in the future, one of the realities, unless things have changed. So basically I found out they do rituals all over the city, even in the banking buildings. And I saw something really messed up one time. I think it was one of the, I won't say which building it was, but there was a building, and what I saw was they put black tarp down to cover the walls and the floor with this black tarp. And they were killing people, having some sort of killing ritual where they would let people run and they would chase after them and kill them. And a whole floor in one of those skyscrapers, one of the banking buildings. And I was looking at it going, because I was thinking in my head as I looked out from the balcony, I was like, hey, I wonder if they do rituals here too. And then suddenly I had a vision. I looked at one of the skyscrapers and I just saw this horrifying vision of someone being stabbed and killed, and there was black tarp put down all over the floor and the walls. I guess this is because of the blood, and they don't want any evidence, and this is something that they do all the time. And from the energy of it, I got the gist that this is something that they do every year and that they do all the time. So it's really quite frightening, and that this is happening in our city, and not only in the city of Melbourne, happening all over in every other city all over the world. And they do all sorts of different rituals. Now, I've figured something out, and I don't know which building it's in, but underneath in Melbourne, under one of the buildings, there is basically an underground entrance where there's a door, and you have to have clearance to get into it. You go downstairs, and it's right in the basement, and this basement leads to a train. It leads to a train where this train, it's a whole underground connected system where the train takes you to Mount Dandenong. And so there's this whole connected underground system in Melbourne, and I've been trying to find out which building it is. I know it's one of the buildings, and I can see it's got concrete stairs, and there's these two doors, and you have to have like retina scan and like high security to get through these doors. So only the reptilians or hybrids or people who are allowed can get through to this area where the train is. Another really frightening thing I saw in one of the banking buildings. So there are a few banking buildings here in Melbourne, and basically in one of them what I saw was they actually turn off the security cameras, and they do something to the guards, the security guards, where they actually immobilize them or they blank their memory so they're unable to do anything. And what I saw was really shocking, where they actually go and stab people in the office, certain people, and kill them. And you have to wonder why they would turn off the security cameras and do something to the guards. And they can, believe me, no matter what they tell you, they've got devices. The reptilians have devices where they can immobilize people, blank their memory, and do all sorts of things. They have so much control and the technology to do so. And so I wonder why they would do these in the banking buildings. You know, obviously to get more. I know that they do these ritual sacrifices to gain whatever they want, to get money, power, and control. That's the whole reason they do these satanic rituals. Now, I've figured something out, and I don't know which building it's in, but underneath in Melbourne, under one of the buildings, there is basically an underground entrance where there's a door, and you have to have clearance to get into it. You go downstairs, and it's right in the basement, and this basement leads to a train. It leads to a train where this train, it's a whole underground connected system where the train takes you to Mount Dandenong. And so there's this whole connected underground system in Melbourne, and I've been trying to find out which building it is. I know it's one of the buildings, and I can see it's got concrete stairs, and there's these two doors, and you have to have like retina scan and like high security to get through these doors. So only the reptilians or hybrids or people who are allowed can get through to this area where the train is. You think the rituals that happen here are bad? Wait till you see the rituals that happen in London and what happens over there. I'm not even going to tell you, but have a look for yourself and learn clairvoyance, and then you'll start to see what I'm talking about. I tell you that the witches and the Satanists, the high-level wizard spellcasters in the royal family and in London hate me, and they don't like me, and they basically want me to die. But I'm still here, and I'm protected by the ETs, and I have lots of other friends as well. Anyway, enough of that horrible crap. I'll take you on a tour of my city. I'll tell you a about some of the other paranormal things. I've also been on a ghost tour in the city as well. It's really cool. So that's the Art Center spire. And something interesting, I'll tell you a story about this spire. There was one year where we were in the city and it had this used to have fireworks on it on New Year's Eve. And what happened one year was there was a sphere ball UFO that me, my friend Lewis, and his friend's son and his family saw. We saw this metal orb go near the spire. And you could clearly see it. They could all see it as well. It wasn't just me. And what happened was suddenly, after this metal sphere orb left and moved away, a fire started where the fireworks was. So they're building a whole underground new train system under here. Let's have a look through this window. You can see all the construction work that they're doing here. It's a whole new subway, underground subway system. Well, they say it's for underground trains, but maybe they're going to use it in the future for something else. And so here we are, the Parliament of Victoria. It's under construction at the moment. But in this building here, I feel a lot of these rituals happen here as well. In certain rooms, the public can't enter. So in this building, I see like there's a room that no one can enter, and it's like this door, like this special wooden door. And they do rituals in this room, and they have these golden pyramids all over the city. So one of them is in this building, the Parliament House, and there are several other golden pyramids all over the city. And it's almost like these golden pyramids form some type of grid, some type of satanic energy control grid. So that's what I've seen here. And yes, they do satanic ritual sacrifices in this building. So this is the city, and I'm still trying to find that building where it has the underground entrance. Think about this building here and what direction it's pointing in. That's Burke Street, all the way down there. And all these crazy events have happened down there. And this road connects straight to the Parliament House, right over here where they do all these satanic rituals at certain times of the year. So I found this alleyway. And I can already see a very interesting symbol. Satanic pentagram. Deliveries. Very creepy. And there's the building I was looking for. I found it.